Hi, good day everyone. I'm Kisha Shanmugam. My metric number is A22A0473 and I'm going to give a presentation on theories that introduced by four management scholars. The main four scholars that I made the study is Frederick Winslow Taylor, father of scientific management, Henry Fayol, father of modern management theory, Mary Parker Follett, mother of modern management, and Max Weber, known as principal architect of modern social science. So let's see the biography of Frederick Taylor. Frederick Taylor full name is Frederick Winslow Taylor. He is American inventor and engineer who's called as the father of scientific management. His system of industrial management, known as the Taylorism, substantially stimulated the improvement of industrial engineering and production management through the world. Taylor was born in 20 March 1856 to a Quaker family in Pennsylvania. He entered Phillips Exeter Academy in Exeter, New Hampshire in 1872 with the intention of eventually attending Harvard following his father to become a lawyer. Taylor successfully completed the Harvard entrance exam in 1874. However, due allegedly to unexpectedly deteriorating eyesight, Taylor chose quite a different path. He established time to study at the Midway plant in 1881 when he was 25 years old. The accomplishment of his undertaking, which served as the foundation for Taylor's later theories of management science, established the field of time studies. Taylor graduated from Stevens Institute Technology in 1883 with a degree in mechanical engineering. He married a Philadelphian Lucy M. Spooner on 3rd May 1884. Taylor established a solo consulting exercise in Philadelphia in 1893. His business card now said consulting engineer, systemizing shop management and manufacturing caused a specialty. Through those consulting experience, Taylor improved his management system. Taylor passed away on 21st March 1915, one day after his 59th birthday. Fair believe a worker should get a fair day's pay for a fair day's work, no more, no less. The theory that introduced by Taylor is principle of scientific management. The cause of science management form is because of inadequate potential and or education. Taylor felt that employees have to be centered on labor at the same time as managers have to be held responsible for optimizing performance. This strategy would benefit people in general as it would lead to better working and living circumstances, higher pay, and shorter working hours. Now, let's see the advantages and disadvantages of his theory. The advantages is enhanced production. Scientific management paradigm, which focuses on continuous improvement in corporate process, is to blame for increased productivity. The second is ability to control. The fact that managers can effectively regulate production is the best feature of scientific management theory. Employees become specialists in their field as they do the same task repeatedly. Third is cost of production reduced. Productivity is increased through mechanization and the most recent technological advancement in manufacturing. The cost of production per unit is reduced as a result of improved large scale of production. So next is disadvantages. The first disadvantage is require huge capital, expensive and demands a significant financial investment. More funding is needed for the formation of work study, planning departments, worker training, and standardization. Second disadvantages is management takes control. The management fully accepts responsibility for organizing and managing workplace activities. And the last disadvantages is planning reduces productivity. Having the ability to plan is a benefit. Planning has the drawback of making work stiff and inflexible, which can result in carelessness and discontent. So the next scholar is Henry Fayol. He was an engineer and business administration thinker who lived from July 29, 1841 until November 1925. Because he was raised in a wealthy household, he studied at the city's top universities and he completed his mine civil engineering studies in 1860. He started gaining experience in metallurgy and coal industries when he was 19 years old. Due to the aforementioned, he was appointed mining manager at the age of 25. His expertise helped the company Commentary for Chambord at the Cavern. A significant business emerged from a challenging administrative and financial condition. In 1888, he became the managing director of this mining company that employed over 1,000 people. His goal is eliminate downtime in worker actions in order to adhere to the system design that was intended to improve productivity. Fayol died specifically on November 19, 1925. Fayol once said, if an employee is given a specific task to do, they will become more efficient and skilled in it. So the theory that introduced by Fayol is principle of management. He referred to as the father of modern management theory, changed how people thought about management. He established a broad idea that is applicable to every division and level of management. Fayol's 14 management principles take top-down approach to organization in order to enable managers get the most out of staff members and govern the company with ease. The advantage of principal management is facilitates organizational structure. The organizational structure is one of the principal management of the Henry Fayol's 14 management concepts. Fayol discussed a hierarchical system in which powerful leaders are found at the upper levels of management. Secondly, promotes the team concept. Although administrative administration has both benefits and drawbacks, one of Henry Fayol's enduring view was that personnel should put the company's overall interests ahead of their own. Thirdly, the advantage of principal management is motivates employees through fair compensation. It is because while the pros and cons of Fayolism are still up for dispute, one theory that has held up over time is the notion that employers must pay staff in a way that encourage above average performance. The next is disadvantages. The disadvantages of Fayol's theory is the 14 principles are solely based on Fayol's personal experience in management. They do not involve other people or organization or any research. Second is the principle neglects the most important aspect of the business. The example, the customer and the customer satisfaction. The principle promotes an organizational structure that caters to the demands of the organization and not the customers. Third is the structure is outdated. When Fayol created the principles, the business organization functioned on command and control, which is stark opposite to the business organization in the present. So let's see the next scholar, who is Mary Parker Follett. She, known as an American novelist and sociologist, was a pioneer in the study of interpersonal relationships and people management. She studied at Radcliffe College, then known as the Society for the Collegiate Instruction of Women at Harvard, in 1888. She studied for a year, 1890 until 1891, at the Newnham College in Cambridge, England, before finishing her degree in 1988. Follett began working at Roxbury as a voluntary social worker in 1900 at the Roxbury Neighborhood House of Boston. Then, in 1970, Follett took on the vice presidency of the National Community Center Association, and in 1918 she published her book on community democracy and governed the new state. She was passed away on 18 December 1933. Her central theory is that individuals and society shape each other equally, came from her work in community centers, not the boardroom. So the principle of coordination is the theory that introduced by Follett. Instead of going up and down the chain of command through the chief executive, the principle of direct contact is focused on the relationships between the head of department. This seems plausible given that those who are closest to the issue must unavoidably have a good possibilities of having direct interaction. According to Mary Follett, coordination can be accomplished by having direct touch with those who are accountable. Direct contact and effective communication between individuals aid in resolving disputes and misunderstandings. So let's see the advantages and disadvantages of Follett's theory. The main advantage of principal coordination is increased employees' engagement. The fundamental progressive tenet of Follett's work that giving employees autonomy over their work will increase their happiness, productivity, and engagement is still at the heart of many productive workplaces today. By providing ownership and accountability for achievement inside each level of hierarchy, Follett's idea encouraged employees to strengthen their involvement and devotion to an organization. Besides, allow for flexibility is an advantage of principal coordination. Flexibility is a component of autonomy. Employees convey that they trust their staff to choose the most effective method to contribute to the team by developing personal ownership of business goals while also allowing for flexibility in achieving team. The third is encourage a flat hierarchy structure is again, Follett didn't think that hierarchy should be completely eliminated. Instead, tiny organizations can benefit from flat hierarchical system which have little to no middle management in between workers and leaders. The disadvantages are principal coordination is not a specific theory or strategy. This is because Mary Parker Follett's theory was not created because the theory and principle took a little bit from her other creation. Next is doesn't always work is the disadvantage of a principle because integrated problem solving is not always possible, especially in companies between the managers. And the last is lack of discipline. This wouldn't be effective in today's larger companies and franchises is important disadvantage because the theory were created before the 20th century. Business management in the past very different from now. Our final scholar is Max Weber. Max Weber is a German scientist defines bureaucracy as a highly structured, formalized, and also an impersonal organization. He also instituted the belief that an organization must have a defined hierarchical structure and clear rules, regulations, and lines of authority which govern it. He was born on April 21, 1864. Weber began as a law student at the universities of Heidelberg in 1882, interrupting his studies after 2 years of fulfill his year of military service at Strasbourg. In 20s, he was worked stimulatingly in two unpaid apprenticeships as a lawyer, an assistant, and as a university assistant. His post is Marion Weber. Max Weber who at the Spanish flu passed away from pneumonia in Munich on June 14, 1920. We all know that Weber, known as principal architect of modern social science. So the theory that introduced by Weber is principle of bureaucracy management. The definition of Weberian bureaucracy is an organizational structure characterized by numerous regulations, standard operating procedures, requirements, and number of desks, the meticulous division of labor and responsibility, clear hierarchies, and professional, almost impersonal interactions between employees. This is Max Weber's definition of bureaucracy. Weberian bureaucracy, according to Max Weber's bureaucratic management theory, is a framework that needs to be used in large enterprise. He suggested doing this guarantee the structural efficiency of all jobs performed by sizable workforce. Come, let's see the advantages and disadvantages. The main advantage is creativity thrives within a bureaucracy. A bureaucracy is a place where responsibility is required, despite the fact that it is frequently perceived as a massive collection of rules and regulations. Compared to non-bureaucrats, persons who work in bureaucracies frequently have greater level of education, more self-direction, are more open-minded, and embrace their creativity in ways that advance the common good. Secondly, is job security is provided. More job security is provided by a bureaucracy structure than by other type of regulation. A worker is given certain benefits and a stable wage that enable them to live the lifestyle they desire if they follow the rules and regulations that apply to their profession. Third is discourages favoritism. The impersonal character of the ties that are developed in a bureaucracy that it will be handled creates special advantages. It establishes a system in which equality is prioritized. The main disadvantages of bureaucracy management is there's no emphasis on creating additional competencies. Employees are continuously promoted within the hierarchical system of a bureaucracy until they reach a position where they are first incompetent. Because there is no emphasis on developing new or extra competencies within a bureaucratic framework, people will stay in this position until they decide to retire. Secondly, fosters a structure that doesn't create true productivity. To the advantage of everyone's a bureaucracy make a ton of rules and laws that must adhere to. The issue with this is that new regulations and laws can be implemented at almost any time, making the workloads that people must bear more difficult. The last disadvantage is expenditure dictate action. For a bureaucratic framework, the budget cycle is a yearly occurrence. Only the current cycle worth of money is available. The cost will not be included in the subsequent budget cycle if they are not utilized. This establishes a policy whereby individuals and organizations spend money in order to have it in the upcoming budget. And finally is the similarities between four scholars' theories. The similarities between them is coordination between management and worker by Frederick, Scala chain by Henry, reciprocal relationship by Follett, and impersonal relationship by Weber. They believe efficiency in completing tasks was a key component to success and recommend detailed record keeping at all levels to monitor efficiency as well as areas of opportunity. In my point of view, I think the most important and relevant theories that being applied in our current situation is Max Weber's theory. According to Weber, bureaucracies produce the best levels of effectiveness, reason, and worker satisfaction. In fact, he believed that because bureaucracy was so rational, it would completely alter society. In Malaysia, micro-enterprise was follow the bureaucracy management in their business. Therefore, in micro-enterprise, got top manager is the head of organization who supervises the lower levels. The middle manager works under the top manager and supervises the lower manager, and the lower manager works under the direct supervision of a middle manager. Micro-enterprise management department are developed of employees and organization should guarantee to improve their living standards, provide job security, economic security, social security, physical security, give proper training, apply a suitable performance appraisal system, provide a fair payment. So Max Weber's contribution is the best for business management. We can use his theory in our working life. So that's all. Thank you.